If you're anything like me, you've noticed that third-party masterpiece companies have put out a lot of figures over the past couple of years. We're slowly working on finishing up several combiner sets. Hopefully we can get those finished within the next year. And there's a lot more great releases scheduled to be released sometime by the end of 2020. But have you ever stopped and wondered, why is Takara not doing more? Why is it up to third-party companies to fill all of the gaps that are left by Takara? It also seems like long gone are the Takara-only collectors once they've realized that Takara is onto a 3.0 of almost everything they've made. We're going to talk about all this coming up. First off, I really want to say that Takara's role in the masterpiece realm has changed a lot over the last 5 to 6 years, but I feel like they have made a bigger change in the last 2 years. It seems like they're only going to play safe bets, put out figures they know will sell well. And the thing is, they set the tone for aesthetic, for engineering. They set the expectation of what a modern day masterpiece really is. Some feel like Takara underperforms the third party, that their figures that come out could be done better by a third-party company. But that is always debatable, and the aesthetic of a figure is a purely subjective thing. The thing about this is, will Soundwave get a 2.0 version? At this point, you can pretty much guarantee any major character that Takara has made is going to get a remake eventually. It seems like they don't want to go too deep, go too far out, go too obscure, which we will talk about some obscurity in a little bit. But with this, is this proof or evidence that if it didn't get a plus version, then it's got a rework coming? So that leaves third party to take all of the risk, to make the characters Takara doesn't feel like they should have to make, that they don't want to be bothered to make, such as maybe a Sea Spray. Maybe they even have a record of how popular characters are, sales data, sales history, and they can tell, hey, this character is not one that we want to mess with. So they let third party make figures. I do believe there is a relationship between all third party companies and Takara. I think there's a bit of respect in a way that they make characters they know Takara isn't working on. I believe the likes of X-Transbots, Fans Toys, MMC, and pretty much the vast majority of the major ones know what Takara is working on, or at least know what they should not be working on. That has to exist, because there are no coincidences when it comes to this. Case in point, I think they're working on a Galvatron. It only makes sense that they're working on a Galvatron, because all of other third party just stopped developing Galvatrons. Fans Toys reissuing of an old mold in different colors and updated color scheme isn't the same as, say, X-Transbots coming along and finally putting theirs out. So I truly believe that's one of the projects they have in the works. Just like when MP36 dropped and everybody just stopped dead in their tracks making masterpiece third-party Megatrons, we have not been seeing masterpiece scaled third-party Megatrons, and it starts to make me wonder, how come old Magic Square doesn't step up and do this? And a lot of people speculate that they would make a 2.0 Rodimus Prime. And for me personally, I don't think Takara is going to do a 2.0 Rodimus Prime, but it does seem like it's a likely candidate, a likely character that they would do down the road. But a 2.0, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't really be interested in a 2.0 Rodimus. Yes, the MP09 has its issues, but then you start to wonder, how come no other companies are messing with Rodimus? Only the Hot Rod level. And I guess you could say the same question for the ginormous Ultra Magnus. When you look at the likes of Ultra Magnus and Rodimus and Inferno and Ironhide, they didn't get a plus level treatment, but they didn't get a plus level treatment because they already were super tuned, hyper tuned, in that new Takara Toon look, the plus look. They already fit into the plus look. So again, it gets back around to Takara playing it safe. They play it safe, third party takes all the risk. Actually, that's a pretty good business model too, because you let the other companies attempt and fail, or attempt and succeed, and if they succeed, guess what? They could tap into that same character market also. So with that, it starts to make you wonder, what would Takara do if they decided to make something obscure? If they were to wander off their path of really narrow character choices and go a little bit deeper, what would they do? What if they decided to do some target masters? They did maybe Misfire or Trigger Happy, which I think that Hasbro did a really good job with those figures in the main line, in the whole Titan Returns deal. I think those figures looked good, they transformed well, and I always wondered what a masterpiece of those characters would be. How would they look? How would they transform? How complex would they be? But it's a very interesting thought. What if they gave us a couple of headmasters? I'd be interested in seeing how they could pull off a brainstorm. I would think that they would do a great job. I think it would look good. But then again, it's too obscure, and they leave all the risk to the third-party companies, because why wouldn't they? Again, what are they going to recolor the mold into? How are they going to be able to sell it 12 times like Starscream? So it gets right back to them just remaking the same old characters again. I know Hound is new, Bumblebee over and over, Prime over and over. I just can't see them doing another Prime. But I've actually heard a rumor of a 3.0 Bumblebee in the works. That would just blow our minds if they actually did that. I'm sure that's not really going on. That would have been a funny rumor about a 3.0 Bumblebee. One thing that I hear over and over and over is that in certain markets, heroes sell better. In fact, the bad guys do not sell well at all. And so when you think about it, what Takara is doing, what they did in 2019, making all good guys and no bad guys, is almost like a true win-win-win for them. Same thing with RC. She's a good guy. I'm actually shocked they're doing her. I figure she's too obscure for Takara to take the time to bother with her, but yet they did. And so I'm actually shocked that they're doing it, which makes me start to wonder, what other figures would they do? She's not obscure at all, though. She's not an obscure character. It's just, it seems like they're veering a little bit outside of their normal. And of course, they'll be able to sell the Seeker mold 12 times over, and maybe they'll even pick some new colors out of the rainbow down the road, and we'll all be investing $5,000 into Seekers. No, I won't, but some people might. So next I want to talk about KO profits. This is another topic that has been thrown my way that is just too common to see KOs of Takara's product and nothing really happening to those KO companies. Hasbro is shutting down Wei Zhang. Hopefully they come back with another name. But Takara consistently gets everything knocked off, including their new Optimus Prime. Although I didn't really want to believe this at first, it makes a whole lot more sense now that Takara is somehow profiting off these KOs. And I didn't believe it when I first heard this. So there's a couple things they could be doing to make money off of KOs. First off, they could just be selling their design. I mean, it's simply here, $5,000 per company, buy our design, you save yourself a lot of money in design, and then you can make as many as you want. That could be going on. That's a possibility. I don't know, but that's what I've heard. The other thing I hear is that Takara finds maybe something that doesn't live up to their quality standards. Yes, Takara does have quality standards, by the way. Yes, they do. And something that doesn't live up to their quality standards gets sent out and sold as a KO. Either they sell it to a company like a liquidator type of company, or they just sell it themselves as a KO. Now, I don't 100% know how all this works, but I got my hands on 2 KOs recently. I got the Black Arachnia and a KO of the version 2 Bumblebee, which I already had the version 2 Bumblebee official. I can't tell the difference between the two. I guarantee you that KO or fourth party version of Bumblebee came from the same factory and the same production run. Because of the timeline and because I have them both, and there are just too many things about it that are exactly the same. I can't tell the difference between those two. And when it comes to Black Arachnia, same thing, except with this figure, she has one flaw, and that's her back piece when she's in bug mode. The tolerance is not right to fit the plug for her web, so she could hang and dangle from her web. You would have to hollow that out. Maybe it's a paint app thing. Maybe it's tolerance in the plastic. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't bother with it because I'm not going to display her like that. It doesn't bother me. But that is a true error in the figure, and it was sold as KO, and it came out really fast, and the package is precisely the same. Like, we're talking 100% exactly the same as the original. It's hard to believe that that really was a KO. So what do you guys think about the future of Takara? Why do you guys think Takara doesn't do very much? Why don't they do more? If you could pick a figure for Takara to make, what would you want them to make? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Tydirium Hanger, out.